To Monkey in the Morning. I'm your host, the Ranting Monkey, and I hope you're having a wonderful Sunday. It's a beautiful Sunday here in Michigan. Actually, it looks like crap out there. It's kind of overcast. At least it's not overly hot or anything. This is not the kind of show I like to do. Unfortunately, there's news we just can't get around, It's one of those kind of things. We had the shooting yesterday down there in Texas. And we talked about it a little bit last night, and then wake up this morning and, another shooting, this time in Ohio. There's not a good thing. I mean, there's nothing good to come from talking to this. I don't know anybody who wants shootings. I don't know anybody who thinks they're great. Everybody has a reason why they happen and who to blame and what's going to fix it. And while they'll talk about it from time to time, it's like they wait for it. They want that event so they can have their say, y'all. I saw Kamala Harris. One of the first things I saw when I woke up this morning, Kamala Harris tweeting out the gunman in Ohio. I think she said it was in Dayton, right? In Ohio. He killed 9 people in less than a minute. Like, is it better if it was 2 minutes? Good morning.
Yeah, yes, it is better if it was 2 minutes.
Oh, fuck, dude, man. Didn't we just this?
Just like you, I woke up this morning and, turn on the news and I hear them talking about shooting. And the radio, when I turn the radio, and yes, guys, I'm a boomer. I still listen to the radio in the morning. Where I had turned the radio on, they said whatever was X number of people injured in the shooting.
Mm-hmm.
And then they said the second mass shooting in the last 24 hours. I was like, what?
Yeah.
Because at first I thought they were talking about El Paso again because I didn't have any, context otherwise. And I was like, excuse me? And like, 9 people dead. Guy was running around with body armor. Like, what the fuck is going on? But then, unsurprisingly, the very first thing I see when I log into Twitter this morning after that happened, and I get out of the shower, Beto O'Rourke.
Oh, God, yes.
Beto O'Rourke standing on a pile of corpses in El Paso to go after Trump. And I'm like, dude, it's not even a day. It's not even a day. And you can't help yourself, can you? Fuck.
Yeah, who was he was on with the Tapper? And
he was being interviewed outside of a hospital. Well, I mean, this was a tweet that his account tweeted out. It was a campaign tweet. It was coming from his campaign account. I'm like, you're using this as a campaign moment. Seriously, Beto.
Evil One says body armor is illegal. Here's the good thing about this: if there's a bright shining moment in what happened in Dayton, even though he was wearing body armor, police took his ass down in less than a minute. From their reports. Within a minute, because he did this where police were present and they took his ass out. So whatever body armor he was having didn't work as well as he was hoping.
No.
But man, the last couple of days, I don't know the solution. I don't like shootings. I don't like people dying. Did you read the manifesto from that idiot in El Paso or where was it? Was it El Paso?
Yeah, I've seen. Yeah. No, I think he's from Allen, Texas.
Right, but that's where the shooting.
Yeah,
was.
And I've seen a few bits and pieces here that I've seen on Twitter, but I haven't gone to the effort of actually giving a shit about what he had to say.
I was when I first saw there was another shooting, I went over to Drudge because that's where I hit for my main stories to get different sources right in a row. And yeah, they actually have his manifesto linked up there.
Oh, good.
It's I wasn't expecting genius or anything, but it's really stupid.
Mm-hmm.
He's railing against immigration, mass immigration, both legal and illegal.
Okay.
Railing against Democrats and Republicans. It's all corporations' fault, guys. The universal basic income is going to be coming in because we're already having a problem with automation. But as bad as automation is, when then you throw in all the illegals and then nobody can work. Am I the only one that remembers where we have like record low unemployment? Even with all the illegals, guys, we have record low unemployment, right? Well, okay, maybe not record, but like lowest in 50 years or some shit like that.
Yeah, it hasn't either crested or gone above 4% since 3-4 years or something like that. Yeah.
Faithless, no, he's not a Yanger. He actually seems to see Yang's universal basic income thing as a bad thing, because then everybody's gonna be dependent, I guess, reliant on the government. I forget the word he used.
I mean, he's against corporations, but he's also against a basic income.
Yeah, well, he's against the corporations because the corporations are the ones who want to bring in all the illegals.
Right.
Yeah. Like I told you, it was dumb.
Yeah. I mean, strangely enough, he sounds like he's a nut job.
Right. It's almost like he's not coherent and smart at all. But
I did find out that his dad is a therapist, which is
well.
Oh God, yeah.
Well, there was one other part that I wanted to bring up because I saw Shoe on Head last night.
Mm-hmm.
She posted a little clip to Twitter asking what's up with Fox News, or is this really happening? Something about Fox News. And there's a Fox News anchor who's talking about this and asked his guests about video games.
Oh, for God's sakes.
True story.
Oh, no, surprise. I mean, is there one thing we shouldn't ever again be surprised at as a talking point whenever something like, or any act of violence involving a gun in some way, shape, or form, especially if the circumstances are mass shooting and the shooter is below the age of 21, is video games not going to come up?
Well, two things. One, I also want to point out that in this, the guy said he'd been fighting his whole life to stop the immigration thing. Like, you're 21.
His whole life.
You're 21. You don't get to say my whole life yet.
And how prior to this, what was his grand effort that just wasn't doing the job to stop the immigration effort? What was he doing?
Maybe he wrote about it in one of his notebooks in school. I don't know.
Oh God!
But as for the video game thing, he actually did make a reference in his manifesto there to Call of Duty.
It's the white phosphorus, y'all. It's the white phosphorus.
Yeah. He was talking about picking his target, and he said, it's not cowardly to go after low-hanging fruit, over something that's not likely to get you shot back. Because you don't have to pull a Call of Duty and go into like the highest difficulty level. I forget his exact words, but that's the basic gist. It's okay to shoot up a Walmart because if you shoot up a police station, they'll kill you fast. That seemed to be his, but he specifically mentioned he'd actually, okay, let me back. He says COD, not Call of Duty, but
yeah. Well, cash on delivery, monkey. I mean, he
made cash on delivery.
Yeah, I mean cash on delivery.
Man,
you know what that reminds me of? It's gallows humor as it is. It reminds me of that Gamergate Law and Order Special Victims Unit episode.
Oh, yes.
They kept trying to find the cheesiest ways to insert quote unquote gamer slang into the situation. And like that girl, she got beat up, and the girl's like, "What did they do?" She says, "They just leveled up." And I'm like, "What the?"
Yep.
It's like, yeah, low hanging fruit to go after your targets. Like, oh my
they
God.
Just leveled up. That is one of the cheesiest lines in television history.
They just leveled up.
Yeah, so Kamala Harris tweeted out this morning, according to authorities, 9 people were killed and 26 injured in the Dayton shooting. It lasted less than a minute. Less than a minute. We cannot remain idle and allow this level of carnage to ravage our communities. We need courage. We need to act. All right, what's going to stop it?
Okay. Well, I mean, let's go down. Okay. First and foremost, for anybody listening,
real quick.
Oh, sorry.
Hi, Sinatra.
Good morning. So this is StreamYard?
This is StreamYard.
Yeah. With a duck.
With a duck. Thanks,
With a
Scribe.
duck. Well, I just wanted to make sure people understood there's a duck involved.
With a duck.
There is a duck.
So Sinatra was talking about like how do we solve mass shootings, and I was going to say just for reference, in case anybody now or in the future wants to know, I am not a gun guy. I don't particularly like guns in the sense that like just having them around. My dad was in the military and a cop and everything, and there were guns in my house. Never had any particular liking for them. I don't know how to shoot, blah. However, that being said, Second Amendment is a thing. And even if the Second Amendment wasn't a thing as it is, the fact of the matter is, how many guns in existence in the United States are already in existence?
Right.
Okay. You could legislate now and stop all gun sales. I mean, let's just think for a moment. Okay, stop all gun sales. All gun sales stop. We do a complete Australia. Basically, all guns are illegal. Blah. Okay. So what do you do about all the guns in existence already? Okay. The only thing you could do, conceivably, even with all the guns in existence, is to severely restrict ammunition. I mean, there's already a ton of ammunition out there, but it's not going to last forever. And eventually, the only use you have with a gun is if you got ammunition. You could make your own. It's more complicated, etc.
All right, I'm back.
How do you
Sorry.
stop it?
I fucking clicked a thing and got booted from the.
Don't click things.
Yeah, for real. Jeez.
So what legislation is going to cure this? You can't cure crazy because we're humans. You can't cure the absolute existence of guns, the attainment of guns for people who are young. I mean, basically, if you started changing the law, you might be able to affect, in a limited degree, oncoming generations who want to get their own guns. But then if they can't, well, there's dad's gun or grandpa's gun or the black market or a gun sale or gun show somewhere. I don't know what the solution is, because anything you enact now is not going to change the stockpile that exists.
Now, I am a gun guy, and I can allow me to retort.
Okay.
There is just about nothing you can do. Guns have existed so long.
That's not a retort. That's agreeing with me.
That's an agreement.
No, just allow me to finish my retort. Damn it.
Okay. Sorry.
Okay.
Guns have existed for so long that maybe if you called ammo, there might be something you can do about it. But my local gun shop has ammo for sale the size of a fucking gas station. Like, it is just shelves and shelves and shelves and rows and rows and rows of ammo. There is quite literally nothing you can do. The only thing you might be able to do is cut down on the gun-free zones. Allow other people to carry in places. Like, wherever I go, I 90% of the time have a gun with me, unless I have my basketball shorts on. It is such, like Scribe said, you cannot predict human behavior. All you can do is try to be prepared for it. And they go, well, we're the only first world country with this problem. We have more people than anything, and 99.9% of gun violence, and that's an actual statistic, look it up. I think it's something like 99.7% of gun violence is done with illegally obtained guns. So what a shocker. Criminals don't follow the law.
Yeah, it's to me, it just seems like a lot of platitudes, and that's what it is. We're going to see that. You can't. There's estimated 390 million guns in the U.S.
And I have a chunk of that.
Sinatra has half of them. Even if half of them got turned in because you said, okay, you can't have those anymore. We're buying them all back. Even if half of those got turned in, you're still looking at over 180 million guns.
Oh yeah. This is a problem that is unique to America, and comparing America to other countries with this is dishonest and stupid, because we're not other countries. It's like free healthcare works here. Yeah, well, they have 30 million people living there with a tax rate of 50%.
The other aspect to this, of course, we got to get into it, is the white nationalist part, guys.
I don't know
because
anything about this.
the shooter from El Paso, Mr. whatever his name is, he said, of course, people are going to call me a white nationalist and blame this on Trump. But I was thinking about this long before Trump, which may or may not be true. I don't know. However, we have already started seeing it being blamed on Trump. Beto O'Rourke was on with Jake Tapper, and Tapper asked him, do you think Trump is a white nationalist? It's a weird time to bring that up, Jake. But Amy Siskind.
Absolutely no shame in their blame game.
Oh, none.
Yeah, because, Dylan Roof didn't happen under Obama. White nationalism, white supremacy, it's been around a while, guys. It has fueled more than a few horrible things. In fact, let me just say, racial supremacy, full stop, has fueled more than a few shootings. Do you remember the 5 cops killed in Dallas?
Yep.
I mean, nobody ever talks about that much anymore.
We're not allowed to talk about that because if you ever bring that up, you're going to get people in your mentions going, there's no proof that guy was related to BLM.
Of course.
Well, I'm not even talking about BLM. I'm not even talking about BLM. I'm just talking about the black supremacy movement. The guy in Baton Rouge who did a bunch of YouTube videos that I've seen. He was like a quasi-sovereign citizen, went out there, started shooting cops and things. Mm-hmm. Now, does that happen as often as white?
That's a right winger too.
Oh, well, of course. Why not? But I mean, just so, yeah, but white nationalism as a fuel for doing hateful, racist things that are violent, that's been going on forever. Trump is not some kind of quasi-magical catalyst for this stuff to happen more often. The rhetoric, I won't deny the rhetoric between people accusing others of white nationalism, marginalizing people as being racist just because they don't agree, et cetera, et cetera. That rhetoric has ramped up. But I don't know what to tell you. You got soft targets, you got somebody with a bunch of guns, and they have easy access to them, and they decide to go on a rampage. And you boost up this fight. I mean, is it really one side's fault that the tensions are so high?
No.
Oh my God, I just saw a tweet that broke my brain.
Uh-oh.
My feels when people think that criminals are the only ones who buy guns illegally.
What?
What? When the option? Okay, let me help you out here. You're buying something illegally, you're a criminal.
I don't even understand what that tweet was meant to say now.
It's actually what illegal means. But I wanted to bring
I heard a popping noise in my brain when I read that.
It's like, undocumented immigrants aren't criminals.
Read a tweet this morning from Amy Siskind, and people who watch this show know I talk about old Amy a lot. Amy's a wine-swilling cat woman who used to be a Republican, but she was a never Trumper, and in her never Trumpedness, she has become a hardcore liberal, like commie liberal at this point. She tweeted this out. The El Paso killer drove 10 hours and targeted a Walmart frequented by brown people. He posted a manifesto speaking of, quote, Hispanic invasion of Texas. This is pure white supremacy stoked by Donald Trump's daily rhetoric. Congress should return to D.C. and condemn Trump and stop this.
Stop what?
Trump's daily rhetoric? I don't know.
This is holy fuck.
You know this reminds me of that just then. I made this argument on a different subject a while back. The guy who went into the Rio Grande with his daughter on his shoulders.
Yes.
And they both ended up drowned, right? Okay. And after that, everybody's pointing the fingers like, oh, this is Trump's fault for making the border so difficult to cross, or this is the liberals' fault for throwing bait to people to risk their lives, etc. And you can make an argument that maybe one, the other, or both kind of influenced something to happen. But here's the thing: the dad chose to walk into the river. This kid chose to go shoot up a mall. That was their choice. Nobody forced them to do it. Nobody brainwashed them to do it. The only thing that stops a mass shooting. Okay, and I hate to say this, and I've said this since Columbine. And I remember saying this to a friend of mine at Columbine. I said the only thing that stops a mass shooting is the person deciding not to do it. That's it.
Yes.
There's really a locked door only keeps out an honest man. You're not going to be able to make every spot on this earth or this country safe, quote unquote, or like some lockdown prison. You're not going to be able to ban the just casual egress and ingress of people from public spaces. It just isn't going to happen. All it comes down to is the individual deciding not to do it. How can you be proactive about preventing these things? I don't know. Maybe pay attention to your kid. I don't know. The whole, well, I have to have mental health screenings before you can own a gun. Yeah, but I could go crazy 5 years from now. It's like,
we talked about this briefly last night too. There is somebody right now sitting in their house who absolutely hates Mexicans.
Yeah.
Hates them. His heart is filled with hate.
Me like that.
Okay.
Jesus Christ.
He has swastikas tattooed all over his body, and this guy, not you. I'm talking about this guy. I'm talking about.
No, this is this hypothetical guy, not you.
Yeah, there's somebody out there who's like that, and you know what? He's never going to pick up a gun and kill somebody with it, because it's not just the hate that does it. It's making that choice to go do this for whatever other reason there is. There's tons of people that hate out there, and that's one of the problems I have with them. You know, focusing so much on, oh, he's a white nationalist. He's a racist. I just saw this on my Twitter, you guys. Cory Booker on the latest mass shooting. He was on with Tapper.
Yep.
I think at the end of the day, especially because this was a white supremacist manifesto, that Donald Trump is responsible for this. He is responsible because he is stoking fears and hatred and bigotry.
Well, let the kid go. It's not his fault,
It's
guys.
not his fault, man.
It's not his fault.
Lock up Trump.
For God's sakes, you know, just you want to promote a culture of there is no responsibility. It's all evil forces and everything outside. You know, just let the kid go. I mean, obviously he was a victim of Donald Trump's rhetoric. All those people who are dead, well, those were the sonic secret messages through the ether of the mystic chords of memory from Donald Trump's mouth to this kid's brain. And the trigger being pulled, shit, that was just Donald Trump tweeting, guys. That's what it was.
Let me ask you this. If Donald Trump is responsible because of his rhetoric, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the rhetoric being reported is wrong. Say, you know, that Donald Trump said there were good white nationalists and good Nazis, which is something that's been reported repeatedly, even though that is absolutely not what he said. Does that mean the news is responsible?
No, because they're not responsible for anything. They're just reporting the facts.
Yeah, they're journalists,
they're
they're not
wrong.
investigators.
Even when they're wrong.
Yeah, I mean, framing information in a biased way is not the same thing as Donald Trump saying something that can be interpreted various ways depending on which side of the political aisle you fall on.
But what if they actually are not saying what he said? Because, like, in that clip, he specifically condemns white nationalism and Nazis. Specifically condemns them. But that gets cut off as they tell us he didn't condemn them.
Well, that's just window dressing, Monk. He's only saying that for the optics. He actually believes that, you know, the KKK should be ruling the country.
Oh, damn. I forgot about that.
So you got to remember, every time Donald Trump says anything that just taken in its own context would seem reasonable to 95% of the population, it's just window dressing. It's just a cover. He's just saying that in order to sound acceptable. That's it. You can't believe anything that he says that you agree with as being bad. Then he's being honest. Every other time, he's completely lying.
I'm just...
And for fuck's sake, again, I'm defending Donald fucking Trump, the guy who made fun of a guy whose house got broken into. I mean, fuck me running. I hate this shit. The shootings... This standing on people's dead bodies to try to make some political points, which makes no fucking sense, and you're a goddamn ghoul when you do it, Beto. I got to get this all in my system because I got to leave the house here in about 15 minutes, but fuck.
Go on, Scribe.
No, it's just...
Bear's getting just trounced right now.
What?
On Twitter.
What did Bear do?
He posted something about the shooting, and now he's got fucking spurgy lefties all in his mentions.
Oh,
I get ill at
they
this.
do that.
I get absolutely ill. I mean, I remember when Sandy Hook happened, and when I was sitting there and the radio came on, they said, 26 kids or whatever. I I lost it. I was screaming at the radio. I was like, no. I was delirious for about 10 minutes. I just could not comprehend it. And now it's like, oh well, 20 people here, 9 people there, da 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 da. And every time my stomach turns over, and I'm just thinking, why? And then I remember, we're human beings. We don't have laws because we think we're perfect. We have laws because we understand that we're all flawed. And then you get these nut jobs, and they kill people. And then what does the world do? They don't try to condemn the act. They don't try to condemn the person. They look for someone to blame that makes them look righteous. And I understand this is not a new thing. I'm not telling anybody anything you don't already know. And this isn't unique to Trump. It's not unique to Obama. It's been going on forever. But why can't you take just a minute and just reflect on life in general and not have to suddenly go like, okay, I'm going to use these sacrificial lambs in my cause. Whoever you are, whatever side of the aisle you're on, it just boggles my fucking mind every time.
Because it's convenient to stand on the graves of dead children to push a political narrative you agree with. We do the same thing when we saw that father and son that crossed the river. We go, why aren't you going at points of entry? Why are you going across the river?
Yeah. I'm asking questions of the dead people, of the people that did wrong. Like in that instance, the father did wrong and the child suffered as a result. And they both lost their lives. Why the fuck didn't you do that? Why don't you wait a day until the border opened up? Oh, no. This is Trump's fault because if only he had not had so many restrictions at the border, they wouldn't have felt so desperate as to jump in the river. Oh, no. This is the liberals' fault because of sanctuary cities. They feel like they just have to jump across the river and they're home free. Why don't you tell people to stop risking their fucking lives, period? It doesn't matter who's saying what or otherwise on the other side of the border. It's everything up to the border. And just like with this, why are you talking about the liberals or the conservatives? Why don't you deal with the fact that you had some nut job kid who was posting this shit all over the place that falls in line with every goddamn Nazi manifesto that you've ever seen from one of these idiots, from Nicholas Cruz onto this guy, and nobody said anything or did anything. Or at least like intervened. The father's a therapist, and he wasn't even like keeping an eye on his kid. And I understand people can keep secrets, especially these days with the internet and everything. Sure. It's not having a notebook in your bedroom anymore. You can have a blog that's anonymous over on Tumblr somewhere. Get all this stuff off your chest and build yourself up and hyper violence yourself up, and nobody knows unless they're paying attention. And where'd the kid get the guns?
People in chat are asking me if I see that it's Poppy's birthday. Yeah, we sang to her on Lords of Night, and then I sang to her on the game stream last night. Yes, I know it's Poppy's birthday. Happy birthday, Poppy. Sorry, I don't like to wish people happy birthday when we're singing when we're talking about dead people. Yeah, it just seems wrong.
Okay, so I'm obviously overblown here. I'm going to stop ranting.
I don't blame you for being frustrated. This is a frustrating thing. No matter what happens, no matter what it is, it could be a shooting, a stabbing. It's all put back. This is somehow Trump's fault. Like there was a shooting at a bar last night in Dayton. I guarantee you, knowing Dayton, that's probably some kind of gang violence. And that'll be out of the headlines in 2 days.
No, well,
that stuff just gets swept under the rug.
From the sounds of it, it was now again, these are early reports. It was a white guy dressed in all black carrying the way they described the gun. I'm going to guess it was a AR-15. They described it by the bullet it fires.
What did they say it fired?
The .223.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was guessing it's an AR-15. But it was really weird that that's the way they described it instead of telling us what the gun was itself. So yeah, but that one's already being, oh look, it's another person that Trump made him do it. It's
another white supremacist.
Yeah.
If there's any kind of violence from a white guy, it is immediately white supremacy, no matter what it is. Like I am honestly surprised they didn't try to label that James Hodgkinson dude, the guy who shot up the Republican congressman, as a white supremacist of some kind.
Well,
you see this shit floating online. Look at all the white male terrorists. Look at all the white male terrorists.
Yeah.
White male domestic terrorism. White nationalist terrorism from white males. Why the fuck do you insist on bringing people over here by the hundreds of thousands at a time? Why do you insist on bringing them over here if America is so dangerous, so full of domestic terrorists, so awful? Why do you insist on bringing them over here? And then when someone has an issue with it, instantly labeled racist, bigot, xenophobe. You can't have it both ways.
Well, here's the thing with it. They keep labeling this guy a white supremacist, one white supremacist and white nationalist.
They are not the same thing.
They're not, and he's not he's an American nationalist, if anything, because he didn't have a problem with blacks. I'm sorry. I don't think there's any point, and I think it's kind of stupid to try to parse out someone's motivations. No, see, like I do, and in this point, it's not his motivation that I'm talking about. It's the rhetoric that comes with it, because they're making this. Oh, it's a racism thing. At best, it's a xenophobic thing. And okay, you want to have that argument, fine, but you're not helping anything when all you're doing is going, oh, it's racist because Trump made him racist. I don't agree with any of his points that he had there. I don't think any of the things that he said in his manifesto are worth shooting people over.
If they were saying, chat is 100% right. He says anything that isn't explicitly left-wing terrorism is labeled right-wing. Like Scribe said, the sovereign citizen shooter was labeled right-wing.
Okay, if they had said he's xenophobic because of Trump's xenophobia, I mean, 6 of one thing, half a dozen of the other. They could go for whatever thing, but it's just that racism plays more powerfully than xenophobia. Okay, racism is more in the zeitgeist right now than xenophobia, and it diminishes the whole effect of what actual racism is. But this kid, I don't know whether he was or not. If his manifesto is true, he was a xenophobic conservative socialist or something. I don't know I had to interpret his little ifs, ands, and otherwise.
Oh, it's weird.
Yeah, because he was nuts. He was nuts. There's nothing to learn from this guy. There's no political insight to be had from this 21-year-old nut job. And people are trying he's a bellwether. Oh my God, he's a benchmark in our society and our culture.
That's the issue, right there.
No, he's not. He's a fucking nut job. That's what he is. Okay, that's what he is. And yet they're trying to turn him into something he's not, building him into something that he's not, and at the same time excusing him for the words and rhetoric of politicians that had nothing to do with this.
You want to hear my favorite thing I read about this guy?
Sure.
I forget what news organization it was. The Sun, I think. They tracked down one of his classmates who said back in school he used to pick his nose and eat his scabs.
Oh, so he's a cannibal and a self-harmer. Okay.
I was like, you guys really put that to print?
Did you see
That's why we call them news entertainers.
Did you see the prank phone calls that were coming in during the shooting?
I did not.
Oh God! So every time I see those things, I think of like Howard Stern prank calls or something. During the course of a crisis, somebody calls in, and they were talking to this guy like he was seriously a witness to the shooting. And God, what did he say? Something like, he said, yeah, I heard the shooter saying "Gamers rise up." He was shouting "Gamers rise up," and the guy's like, "Gamers rise up?" I'm like, yeah. Okay.
Someone superimposed Sam Hyde's face on him.
Of course, Sam Hyde is like the reflexive meme now. Anytime something horrible happens, God. Oops, sorry.
How dare you?
Yeah, I don't want to talk about this the whole stream because
I don't know, and I got to go anyway. My sister's going to show up in a minute. We're going to go out to breakfast. So, anyway, thanks for letting me vent, Monkey. I guess.
Yeah, thanks for coming on, dude.
I wish I didn't have to, but I felt like it. And thanks for listening, Sinatra, even though your retort wasn't much of a retort.
Yeah.
Thank you, Cryptic, who says the media creates more racists than the KKK.
Probably. All right, you guys have a good morning, afternoon, whatever.
See you later, bud.
Later.
Take care.
Yeah. So that's what I woke up to is the second shooting there. And Of course, yeah, everybody's using this for their pet causes. Well, I don't want to say everybody. Right now, it's mostly coming from the anti-gun folks. I'm sure we'll see the pushback by later today from the other folks, to where we'll even see, no, what we need to do is have more people armed, which in this guy's case, the guy in El Paso may have made a difference because he specifically picked, and like I say, he brought up Call of Duty, and you got to go to the low-hanging fruit where you're less likely to get shot. I don't necessarily.
Have they even confirmed that 8chan manifesto is his or not?
It's being said it is. I don't know if there's been an official law enforcement source that has said so.
Because, like with the one shooting, they knew for a fact that it was him that posted it, but this time they just don't know.
I don't know where it came from to where they are saying it's definitely his.
I don't know, man. I always get like a twinge of, okay, there's more to the story when I read stuff like this.
I think the guy was a nutbag. I think he was a nutbag, and I don't know if you heard that part, Sinatra. He's 21 years old, and he said his whole life he's been fighting against the invasion of the illegals.
All 21 years, huh?
All 21 years, yeah. So, shut up, man. You're a lunatic. From the sound of his high school classmate who's talked about him eating boogers and everything. Well, picking boogers, eating scabs. I want to make sure I get that correct. He wasn't very well liked in school. Go figure.
Shocking.
Kind of a loner. How many times do we have to hear that before we start outlawing loners? How many times? We just need to outlaw loners, guys, and everything will be okay. They seem to be the problem.
About the Dayton shooter right now. The suspect wore body armor, Decker said in a press conference Sunday morning. Police said the suspect had a .223 rifle with a high-capacity magazine, so a base magazine of 30 rounds.
Probably.
And had additional ammo. See, hold on a second. I gotta turn off my AC because it's getting a wee bit nibbly in my office, and have to just talk while I move around. All this stuff, man, it just always makes me go, what aren't they telling us?
Well, again, that's the weird part of it. When the 223 with a high capacity magazine, I'm like, I've never heard law enforcement when they give that the debriefing, is that what they call it? The press conference, whatever.
Yeah.
Describe the gun by its magazine and ammo capacity rather than what the gun itself was. I have never seen that before. And that just made me go, wait, what?
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying anything fishy's going on there. It's just weird.
That's immediately what I go to is something fishy is going on. What aren't they telling us?
And again, good job to the Dayton police, man, because even with body armor, they put this fucker down quick.
Said less than 60 seconds.
Put his ass down.
Yeah, guns don't make people safer. This guy could have killed 100 people just walking around if there weren't cops there.
Yeah, from the sound of it, I'm not even sure he got a chance to reload more than once, maybe. Because he killed 9 and shot 20 somewhere. And so, I mean, if you're talking...
Within 60 seconds before he was killed, the suspect killed 9 and injured 27. Yeah, so imagine if the cops had to show up there.
So he had to reload at least once.
8 minutes. He could have been left there for 8 minutes before the cops were able to show up. He could have killed 72 people.
His dumbass did this where cops were. They were like right around the corner. They didn't even have to drive.
And at least this wasn't like the Parkland incident.
Parkland one, like, oh shit, I gotta go.
Yeah, the cops didn't run away.
So good on the look. Seriously, Dayton police, well done. Never like to see anybody lose their life, but I'm glad that motherfucker died. He deserved it. I wonder if it was a Mini 14, not an AR-15. It says
maybe
Jim. Could be. It's just weird the way they're describing the gun. And I hate to be like that, but it's those little. When you read news as much as we do, you tend to clue in on those. Wait, why did they say that? Why would they put it that way?
Yeah, it's just one of those things that jump out to you.
Especially, was it with the guy yesterday? It might have been with the guy yesterday when He used an AK-47, and this, by the way, is in his manifesto. He was going to use an AK-47. It's not actually an AK-47. It was the semi-automatic civilian version of the AK. I don't know what it's called. But I started.
It's still called an AK-47.
Oh, okay. I saw several people like, well, it shoots the 223 round. I'm like, I don't know enough about guns, but the only thing I do know is that that's what an AR fires. Are you trying to link the two? It just made no sense to me because, we don't hear about the AK very often.
It could have been an AK that shoots 223, but
I mean, it's neither here nor there, guys. It's just those weird things you pick up when you're looking at these stories going, why?
I'll tell you the one thing that I did find weird was the El Paso shooter was wearing headphones.
Well, he was wearing that wasn't headphones. That was actually noise suppressing.
Yeah, headphones.
Earwear. Well, when you say headphones, people think he's listening to music.
No. He was like wearing ear protection.
Ear protection. There you go. That's what we're meaning to say there. Yeah, he was wearing. He didn't want to hurt his ears, man. He was planning on living. Oh God, I'm just tired of it. Oh dear Christ, what is this? 7 wounded in a shooting near a playground in Chicago on the west side.
That's Chicago. That doesn't matter. You know that.
Well, this is another. Matt Walsh is somebody who I follow over here, and he was pointing out, there are people talking about, look, gun violence in general, or at least gun murders in general, are down, which is true. And he goes, but that's not something that's not I don't want to say excuse. Well, see if I can find his actual tweet.
These people in Bears replies they're trying to say that Utah and Alaska is more dangerous than Chicago and California.
What is?
That Utah and Alaska are more dangerous than Chicago and California.
What are they trying to go per capita?
I think that's what the argument is there.
Fuck off. This is what Matt said. He said, some right-wingers try to mitigate the mass shooting problem by pointing out that the murder rate is down overall. If there were a serial killer on the loose, would you say it's not a big deal because overall our numbers are still down? That kind of attitude is bizarre. No. Here's the point, Matt. When you're worried about the mass shooting, oh my God, 21 people died in El Paso yesterday. That's horrible. One guy killed 21 people. When that's your big worry, but the number of people, how many people were shot in Chicago already this weekend? Well, fuck, we know 17 just yesterday at a playground. What you seem to be saying is that, look, we only want people shot 1, maybe 2 at a time. Because we can't have a mass shooting, which is what, anything over 3, I believe it is defined as now. No mass shootings, guys. It's only okay. You can kill 21 people, but it's got to be 11 people at a time that do it, And that is a completely retarded way to think of things. Either people dying is bad or it's not. Pick one. That's like with Kamala Harris's tweet. 9 people were shot in under a minute. What's the acceptable time frame for 9 people to be killed, Kamala? What is the acceptable time frame there? Is it over a day? 6 minutes? Give me what you were offended by that 1 minute time frame. I need to know what the acceptable time frame is. 3 dead and 33 shot in Chicago so far this weekend. But hey, at least it wasn't all one guy. At least it wasn't all one guy. Anyhow, I don't want to harp on this shit too much longer because Jesus, man.
I just saw a tweet from let me pull it back up here. Wait, let me write this number down, then I'll pull it up.
Oh, sure.
Because I'm working on a thing.
What is this?
It was a tweet from Amy Siskind, and she said, the killer in Dayton, Ohio, has been identified as a 24-year-old white male, per NBC News. This is a Trump-inspired epidemic. So I responded, I said, because he's white. So I went and looked it up. Under Obama, there were 36 mass shootings.
Mm-hmm.
In 2017, there were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2016, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 since 2016. It kind of makes you scratch your head, doesn't it?
Oh dear. That's sirens outside my place, if you guys can hear that. Ariel Davidson tweeted out, Trump should give a speech to the public, make it heartfelt, eviscerate the white nationalist scum. The left will likely find fault with it, but just do it anyway. At this point, national grieving must transcend politics. Our nation is wounded deeply.
People were asking me for the thing for Irate Bear, so I put his tweet in the chat. This one guy commented like 7 different times.
Huh.
Like, yeah, people are just spurging on Bear.
Trump giving a speech against white nationalists, I have no problem if he does it, but there's no reason he needs to do it. And 2, it's not going to help anything. You know what that's going to be? It would be Trump finally sees the error of his ways, but it's too late. Even if it was the perfect speech, sees the errors of his ways, but it's too late. Yeah, so. And hello, birthday girl.
Hello.
How are you?
Oh, good. I'm feeling ranty about this crap, but other than that,
Go off. Go off, son.
I understand why people need to find a reason and stuff. It makes them feel safer if they can put like these type of people do this, or, you know, this situation makes this happen or whatever. But bad people do bad shit. If it's not guns, it will be bombs. If it's not bombs, it will be locking people in a building and catching it on fire. If someone wants to mass kill people for whatever reason, they're going to find a way to do it. So like, you're not safe. Just accept that and move on with your day. Like, I saw someone on Twitter saying we need to look into what prescription drugs he's been on his entire life, because that's probably like there's a link between suicide and mass shootings and prescriptions. And I'm like, yeah, he took too much antibiotics and now he wants to kill everyone. What the fuck?
No, antidepressants can make you fucking crazy, though.
They can.
So can
And that,
sleeping
but
medication.
usually they make you suicidal, not homicidal.
Sleeping medication can make you fucking nuts, too.
Yeah, if you don't go to sleep, God, my grandma was dancing in the parking lot the other night. I was like, Grandma, go back to bed. But, you know, I do understand, like, there are certain ones that do affect you mentally. But, like, I don't know. It just, like, I'll be honest. When they put me on antidepressant as a teenager, I actually did get violent. But it's not like I went and shot anything up, you know. I just tried to beat up my stepdad. So they took me off of those.
Dude, this shit is fucking infuriating. Reading Amy Siskin's replies is just driving me up a wall.
Oh, that bitch.
Do you realize that the more and more you are just racist against white people, the more and more people are going to push back on it? And that's how you end up with someone who goes and shoots up a fucking Walmart because you were terrible to them for nothing other than the color of your skin. Why do you think there's such gang violence in the hood? Because it's this constant fucking conflict with no resolution.
Mm-hmm.
This just drives me up a fucking wall.
Yeah, and of course, like, as soon as there's a tragedy, like Monkey was saying, you have a bunch of people making their point with it online. Like, whatever their point is, like gun control or Trump's bad or whatever, you know. Everybody has to jump on it. It's like, well, we can at least let people get cold before we start.
Nah, man. The arguments hit better if the bodies are still nice and warm.
It's just fucked up. Excuse my language, but
well, it's true. I mean, we've already had 2 presidential candidates come out and say it's directly Donald Trump's fault.
But it was never Obama's fault, was it?
Oh, never was. Of course not.
this is a Trump epidemic, but it was never Obama's fault with any of the 38 that were under him.
We'll hear all of the different, because there's Amy again with she's tweeting out about who died, and we're gonna have to hear that a woman who was shot was shielding her 2-month-old son, which is tragic. It is, but your point, you guys aren't doing this because you actually care about that woman. You're doing it because you're like, oh, we might be able to finally get rid of guns, y'all. They say it gives them a boner. They're fucking happy this happened. Don't sit there and pretend you're not. This gives you your fucking talking point for the next election. Pinkalo, thank you. Thoughts on Keemstar poll and those replies? I didn't see Keemstar's poll.
Honestly, if they take away guns somehow magically, which I think, like y'all pointed out, you can't. There's already too many. There's already too much going on.
What are you going to do? Go house to house? Go ahead.
Right. And you're going to get shot.
I will print up fake fucking bills of sale for every firearm I own. There's nothing you could do.
But even if they did that, people would find other ways. Like, I mean, bombs are going to be worse. If people start making bombs and putting them in places to kill, you're going to get a lot more people dead. So, I mean, what do they want?
It's they want this because they want to get rid of guns. They're anti-gun people. Me and Satsu were talking about it last night. It is, they wait for it. It's like they already have it written. All they have to do is plug in the name of the place, and they'll sit there for months waiting for it. And then, bam, yeah, I got to type about this. My dick is so hard right now. Is I going to talk about dead people who died guns? We get to get rid of guns finally. Yay, bad Trump. The end. It's asinine.
It really is.
This dude I follow who's an author named Jack Pierce has a really good point. He said, so if it's a white man, they can scream and scream and scream about it being a white guy. But if it's a Muslim, we can't say shit.
Yes.
Let's see. Apparently the Keemstar thing is it says, interesting to see the outcome. Please vote. Ban guns or don't ban guns. Ban guns is winning 58%.
Oh, God. It's not guns' fault. Guns aren't the ones shooting people.
Look, again, you go out there. The only way to stop shootings is to get rid of all guns. Period. And then, you'll see what happens in other countries when people start getting beaten to death or stabbed to death or
Acid attacks.
Can no longer buy Thomas the Tank Engine silverware, cutlery for your children. Because
you have to be over 18 to buy it.
Because that dull knife might kill someone.
As of July 27th, there have been 1,500 people shot in Chicago, right?
Mm-hmm.
That is 129 fewer than 2018.
Mm-hmm.
But when they did this poll, it was late July. So they still have half a year left.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that turns out. So I'll take a guess, and judging by current projections, it'll probably be around 2,200. So let's say 2,200 people shot in Chicago. Are we going to hear anything about that on the news?
No.
Are the news entertainers going to tell us how Chicago has a Trump racism violence problem? No. It's always, this is the kind of shit that, go ahead, get that super chat.
Thank you, Chat Mort. It's violent white supremacists. Let's take the most effective form of self-defense away from racial minorities. Yeah, exactly, right? And thank you, Three-Sided Coin. Ban procreation. No people, no problem. You got a point there as well.
I am totally okay with culling the herd a bit. But it's going to have to be white people who do it, not the third world ghetto bitches that pop out 8 kids.
But
Go ahead.
black people airing out grievances. Not well. Look,
It's just black people fucking airing out their differences with 9mm and 7.62. See, this is the shit. If you really, really, really want to avoid problems like this, you do that by not blaming white people for fucking everything. The more you blame white people, the more radical white people there will be. If every time something goes wrong, you immediately go, it's a white man, obviously a white man, these fucking white men, That's how you get more people like this. You're going to disenfranchise people to the point where they go, you know what? Fuck you. And then shoot up a place. It is the rhetoric that causes issues. And you know what's funny? They say white men are the most oppressive force in America. We are the worst, most oppressive force in America. Have you ever seen someone who was oppressed walk up and openly rob their oppressor? That doesn't happen. It just doesn't happen that way. White people need to stick up for themselves when people do this to them. Like if I'm gonna stop.
I don't even care about white, black, all of that. I'm with you in what you say there. And we've seen that recently with people who are like, oh, well, if you're just going to call me that, then I'm just going to be that, which by the way, wrong way to be, guys.
Right.
Wrong way to be. Just because somebody's telling you you're an asshole doesn't mean you actually have to become an asshole. Throwing that out there. But the blame game here is not helping anyone. It's not going to bring back the dead people. It's not going to stop. We should be cheering the fact that our gun death rates are down, because they are. That's a good thing. But we see this, and 21 people killed in El Paso? I hate keep pointing to Chicago. How many people have died? How many people have been murdered in Chicago with guns this year? Every weekend,
today.
it's like every weekend it's dozens shot, at least a couple killed. Every weekend. Nobody cares. But this one they care about because it all happened at once. And that scares people. Look, if it's just one or two people getting shot as they're driving through Chicago, that's no big deal. You're not even going to Chicago, right? Hey. But if it's one big thing, and that can happen anywhere, here's something that people have to come to grips with. Freedom is not safe, but it's worth it.
But these people are willing to give up their freedom for what they consider safety.
The old
That isn't safety. It's not safety.
No.
But they're willing to give it up for this supposed illusion of safety.
Franklin or Jefferson, I forget which one. Those who are willing to
sacrifice freedom for safety deserve neither.
And will get neither.
Yep.
All right, enough of that. They've found a way maybe to put off menopause for another 20 years.
No.
Oh, yeah, 20 more years of periods. That's what I want to deal with.
Yeah, don't do that. Don't put menopause off.
What's wrong with that?
I want it.
No, it'll help those Downsy eggs last another 20 years.
Hey, mine have been locked up since I was 21. I don't.
Yeah, but the older you get, the more of a chance that the baby comes out fucked up. You're supposed to have
the
children.
Downsy.
That's why mine are locked up. Like I had my tubes tied, so no eggs.
Sweetheart. Will you will you mute when you draw on that, sweetie?
Oh, I'm sorry.
You're fine.
I
Just
wasn't
letting you
even
know.
thinking about it.
A promising new surgery could delay menopause by 20 years, according to a report in the Sunday Times of London. The 30-minute procedure involves removing a piece of ovarian tissue from women who are under the age of 40. The tissue is frozen, then thawed and replanted 20 years later. Oh, so they're frozen Downsy eggs.
Oh, God.
Doing so can restart natural hormones and stop menopause. So far, nine women in England have undergone the surgery. Health benefits of decaying menopause include preventing hot flashes and anxiety, as well as postponing osteoporosis and other aging issues. So they're not necessarily giving you your period for 20 more years. They're just your body will still feel like it has it. Because Downsy pops. That's horrible. I mean, as bad as Downsy eggs are, I can't imagine what's going to happen when they're frozen Downsy eggs. Oh, man. Feds are probing AOC's chief of staff or former chief of staff after his sudden resignation. Actually, they started before his sudden resignation. Because old Mr. Saikat Chakrabarti, I don't know how you say his name, Chakrabarti. He, the architect of AOC, the one who put her in office and tells her what to say and has his hand firmly up her little puppet ass.
I bet she's got a firm little ass too.
Well, she's a donkey, so she probably had bigger things up there. he set up 2 private companies that he funneled political donations to. Over $1 million worth.
That's old news.
Yes, but it's being investigated now, and they're looking at it even more closely, because he may have also violated fines or election laws, campaign finance laws, as well as he may have skirted. Do you remember AOC's big thing about how she was paying her junior staffers $52,000 a year?
No.
She made a big deal about that. Unlike everybody else, I'm giving them a living wage.
Uh-huh.
And everybody's like, well, how the fuck are you paying for it? One of the ways she paid for it was that most chief of staffs in Congress, the average salary for a chief of staff is $146,000.
Huh.
Chakrabarti decided, I will only take $80,000 a year. But because of that, he comes in under a rule where if you make more than $126,000 as a congressional aide, you have to disclose your outside income. So he sets up these corporations with this money, he funnels this money to corporations he owns, lowers his staff salary so he doesn't have to report his other income, and nobody can see what he's doing. Huh. It's almost like he's a dirty little bitch just trying to make money off the process.
Almost.
I hope you go to prison, you silly little bitch.
Oh, that guy just refuses to reply to me anytime I fucking message him back.
Which one?
That Tim dude?
Tim.
The one you were replying to?
Oh, yeah. The one. Oh, mass shootings happen. That's not what he said. He didn't say most mass shootings happen elsewhere. He just pointed out that if you take away the shootings in major places with harsh gun control, you'll find out that our shooting rate or shooting things go way, way down.
No, but Alaska is the most dangerous, dude.
Of course it is. Oh man, what else do we have going on in the news today? Because man, I don't know how much more of that kind of shit I can take. I just can't, man. I'm done with bad news. When this is over, hopefully I'm going swimming with the wifey poo, because I haven't been in like 2 weeks now, and I need to get me some exercise.
Oh wow. Well, let me share this. Share screen.
What? Where are we at? Oh, this guy. Yeah, that's him.
Oh God, they do look alike.
It said, "What race is this?"
That's the sad race. That's the okay. I was gonna say that was gonna be horrible. Never mind.
Yeah, I have a couple of theories going through my head right now, but yeah, that's thumb boys. That's pretty good. Incels.
I know, it looks like there's a Jane missing somewhere.
That's the I didn't get my first gun till after high school crowd.
Yeah.
That's not right. Oh God. So
Downsy boys.
I would like to know, how old are their parents?
True. Well, one's a therapist already, so that takes a while.
How old was your mom when you were born? Maybe look into that. Maybe look into other things about why these people are so fucked up. Because here's the thing, guys. We've had guns forever.
Mm-hmm.
Literally since the start of our country.
The idea of a mass shooting is still a relatively new-ish idea.
My dad used to take his gun to school.
Yeah, they used to teach shooting in school.
Yeah.
You'd be like, all right, put your fucking rifle in the locker till shooting class.
Thank you for leaving stream up, Polly. Is Polly here? I don't have I'm on Top Chat, damn it.
Ugh, don't you hate Top Chat, man?
I do, and I've talked to YouTube about it. No, that's not the default. Like, yeah, it is, you dumbasses. Why don't you even know your own system?
The Resistance tweeted out 2019 Let me just screen share this, because this is extremely dishonest. But, they fucking eat up the dishonesty no matter what. 2019 mass shootings. 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. 0 mass shootings in Britain. I know that's not true. Go. 249.
Papa Frank says, I carried my shotgun from class to class and 2 boxes of shells. Yeah. What else might have changed?
Do you
What
see
else?
this shit?
What am I looking at?
I'm screen sharing.
Oh, I didn't see your screen share. I have to throw it on the screen for me. What's this?
Mass shootings in 2019. I know for a fact this one is not true. But look at that. 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 3, 250.
In 2019?
Yep.
That's not true.
It's not. But
There
they're
have, not
going.
been, there have not been 249 mass shootings this year. Oh, wait. You know what? I know what they're going with there. They're going with anytime somebody's fired at 3 people, I believe it is. Because you don't actually have to shoot them depending on which version of mass shooting you go with to count it as a mass shooting. There just has to be 3 people there. So yeah, some jackass fires at a house with 3 people in there. That was a mass shooting. It actually used to be what, over 5 was the mass shooting, and then they moved it down to 4. And yeah, depending on who you ask and how it's amazing how many more we have when they lower the standard for what it means. The definition is 4 people injured, killed, excluding the shooter. Depends on which one you're looking at, Badger, because there's one that use it. Yeah, see, as of this morning, it's 3. They keep changing it. I believe it's the FBI definition that's the 4 injured, killed, not excluding the shooter, but sometimes it's also including the shooter. So you have to look at that as well.
I literally cannot believe I'm about to say this, but can we trust FBI statistics on this?
Probably not.
No. Thank you, John Migda. Mass shootings include BB guns. Fair. 3-sided coin. Maybe these kids are on some sort of MK Ultra experiment that the government started on their parents when they were in the womb, makes them look like this and go crazy.
Did you see that? Did you see that? The FBI is now labeling conspiracy theories as domestic terrorism.
No, but I'm not surprised.
Theories, not theorists. Conspiracy theories are domestic terrorism.
Badger says that 249 comes from Gun Violence Archive, and their definition is 4.
I have a feeling that list is going to look similar to the 75 school shootings in 2019. And they list like a shooting in the parking lot when school was out in the middle of the night as a school shooting. I think me and AP went through that list point by point by point. And it turned out like 3 of them were actual school shootings.
Aren't these the same ones who data validated on August 4th, 2019? Where are their reports? Here we go. Last 72 hours. Well, okay, just looking at their last 70.
I got to piss.
Yeah, you're fine. In their last 72 hours, I mean, is this all gun violence? Then where's their mass shooting gun violence? Here we go. That's up to 252 now, guys. 252. And for the record, Badger, if you go to where they list them, this one in Kansas, there were 3 in this incident, 3 in this incident, only 2 in this incident, 3 in that one, 3 in that one, 3. So they're not going by the 4. That might be what they tell you, but it's not what they're going by. I mean, literally, the one of them is 2.
Oddly, the thing that pisses me off the most about the El Paso one is that he shot up a Walmart. Because, I mean, if you walk into the front of Walmart, you got a bunch of people stuck in line. They can't go anywhere. They're stuck in lines.
Badger says, wait, what? Liars? Of course, yeah. Anytime you see that kind of shit, anytime somebody gives you any kind of information on gun violence, check it out. We had the same thing when they had the what's that one, blacks shot by police or some crap like that. If you go look at blacks killed by the police, there's a website for that. And if you go into there and look, half of what's in there, that there's no definitive information that they were actually killed by police or anything. It's interesting the way that they do this. They'll say it is, but Snoot, you back?
Yeah, I'm back. What I miss?
No, I actually wanted to. I was waiting for you to bring this up. Did you see Ian Miles Chong's tweets today? The meeting of the Democratic Socialists of America.
No.
Oh my God, it's so good. There's I'm just gonna throw the tweet itself into chat here. Whoops, I hit the wrong button. Let me try that again.
Before you get into this, I wanted to just ask you: did you watch the last debate and Marianne Williamson's fucking little ending statement?
No, I didn't see the closing statements from that one.
How good in bed do you think she is?
I bet she's horrible. She looks like she just lays there.
No, I think the exact opposite. I bet she's
No.
trying to stick a finger in your butt.
No, I think she's so drugged out of her mind that she doesn't even know she's there. She's so drugged out of her mind that you might as well be Cosby if you have sex with her.
All right, I'm watching this video.
Watch the third one. There's one in there. Let me see if I can find the link for that one because it's the best one. Here it is. The first one is good. The second one is okay. And then the third one, this one I'm just putting in. Oh my God, I laughed so hard.
All right, let's check this out.
So hard. Yeah. It's so guys, what this is, it's the Democrat Socialists of America, and it's their convention, I guess, and they're up there, they're talking about what they believe in and blah blah blah. One of the best parts of this is everybody who stands up to talk, the first thing they do is give you their name and then their pronouns. If that doesn't tell you everything else you're going to hear from these idiots. So this one guy gets up.
Oh, fuck.
Did you finish watching?
Yeah. Okay, go on.
Did you finish watching the first one?
No, I didn't watch it.
Go finish watching the first one because the end of the first one is priceless.
Okay, let's.
So they get up and they're giving their socialist things and they're talking about why they believe this or that, and it is a whole.
Thank you, comrade.
Thank you, comrade. Yeah, that's how they talk to each other. I bet that room smells like dirty ass, like sweat and ass, because these are a bunch of dumbass hippies.
Please do not use gendered language.
I know, right? Okay, so what we're laughing at, this one guy gets up twice throughout this. And the first time he gets up there, hi, my name is blah, 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 he, him. And he goes, could you guys please keep the background noise to a minimum? It gives me PTSD. He actually says that it's not because Dante says he got triggered from clapping. It's not just the clap. It's just the noise going on in the background, like people talking, whispering to each other. He can hear that, and it's really triggering to him, and it gives him PTSD. And then because when he says that the first time he gets up and he says, "Guys, can we please?" Another guy gets up and goes, "Can we please not use gendered languaging?" I was like, "Oh
and
my!"
They get up and they go, "Patrick, he, him."
Yes. Yeah, but that's your Democratic Socialist right there, man.
Right-wing BDSM guy just sent me the personal information of the El Paso shooter.
Oh yeah.
It says he's listed as a registered Democrat.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I'm a little speechless
Why
on
is
Twitter.
Sandy Hook fucking trending?
What is what trending?
Sandy Hook.
Because
What?
they're bringing it back up because, by the way, the El Paso shooting was the 8th most deadly in the U.S.
Uh-huh.
I watch these Democratic Socialists, and you look at them. The weird thing is, if you look at just the picture there, it's not just young people in that crowd. There's an awful lot of white hair that's not been dyed that way.
Yeah.
Hmm.
It looks like old white men and young blonde chicks. Y'all need to bathe and go out and get jobs.
And as a person who has a sensory disorder, like if you know you have one, you just don't go to places with huge crowds that are talking a lot, or you bring earplugs. You don't tell everyone to shut up.
No, you're missing the
It
point.
looks like they changed it from Democrat to Republican.
Oh, huh.
Huh.
Interesting.
Very interesting.
But and that'll be something we'll have to keep an eye on, because whether that's true or not, we'll hear about it for the next week. You're missing the point there, Poppy. See, the point is that we have to change society to the point where it's set up for
Unrecognizable.
no, it's set up for the least of us instead of the average of us.
That's stupid. I don't expect people to change for me. I deal with it myself.
No. See, everybody, if you have a sensory issue, because like me, I cannot take a lot of background noise either. But that means when I go into a place, nobody's allowed to talk because I'm there.
Ugh.
Nobody's
You might
allowed
get
to.
triggered.
How self-centered do you have to be like, everybody in the room has to change for me?
Functional says point of privilege. Fuck me, fuck him. I think you're mischaracterizing these people, and it's triggering me. Point of privilege. Fuck those people. Dirty, nasty, stinky.
They smell like patchouli oil.
Is Bert here? Am I allowed to call these ones commies? They call each other comrade.
No.
I think at worst you're allowed to call them Soviets.
It's amazing how many people have been getting mad at me for calling these fucking commies.
I
We're
get shit for saying-
socialists.
I get shit for saying Jews aren't white every time I say it, but they don't consider themselves white. So why am I getting shit for it?
See, I consider Jews white. I don't care if they consider themselves white or not, because to me, it's just the pigmentation, and they are white. I mean, Jews and Germans and Irish and English, their skin
Not
tones.
too far.
Why?
Irish are not people.
Fuck you. I'm Irish.
Hey.
No, you're American, damn it.
I'm American
Yeah.
Irish. Yes. I'm Irish and Indian, yo.
Me too.
Mm.
What are you, 164th, Warren?
No, actually, I'm a quarter.
Ooh.
Yeah. My daddy was like off the boat Irish, and mom was half and half. So if you believe in socialism, you're a commie. Well, socialism, and by Marx's own standard, y'all, people, go look the shit up. I didn't make it up. Before Marx, socialism and communism were used interchangeably. And Marx just rewrote it so that socialism was the step to go to get to communism. If you're advocating for socialism, you're putting us on the path to communism. I'm going to call you a fucking commie, because that's what you are. Anyway, sorry.
Functional says they are white, just a different type of white. So what, like Latino to white, I guess, maybe?
Well, we generally have the three. We have white, black, and Asian. And yes, I know, well, yeah, Hispanic. You mean Asian. They're just
Hispanics are technically white, aren't they?
depends. There's Hispanic white and non-Hispanic or non-white Hispanic.
I know, just to stay on the safe side, when I'm filling out a background check form, I always click non-Hispanic white.
In case you get deported one day. No, I've been a black woman on those. I'll fuck with those as much as I want to, because it's not your business what I am.
No, I don't fuck around on the background check forms.
Well, I don't do background check forms either, because you're talking about with guns. I'm talking about anything else. So, man,
I wonder how many more mass shootings it's going to take before someone just straight up says, "You know what? We are coming to take your guns." Like, this is happening now. I wonder how many more mass shootings till that happens, and I wonder how many people will die in the process.
Yeah, that's not going to play well in Texas. It really isn't.
It's not going to play well anywhere. People don't like when you take shit away from them.
No.
you'll have to wait until there's a different person in office. Just because it's not going to happen under Trump. It's going to have to be it's going to have to be a law that's passed and signed, and I just don't think Trump will do it.
Well, that means Trump would have to pass something. So I wonder if Congress would go against him. Trump is taking guns away. That's racist or something.
All right, they'll finally like guns.
Oh yeah, I mean, if you guys want, if you want guns to stay around, have Trump tweet out that he wants to get rid of them, and then you'll see almost instantly the Democrats will be like, Trump wants to take guns away from black people. It's so racist. Oh God, Jim, what is that?
Trunkle's at a football game or a soccer game right now, and he said the chants are going, Jimmy Savile is one of yours, and inbreds and pedos. So it looks like everything's fun over there.
Carpe Donktum, what a Donktum. Good take. Innocent people are dead, and insane partisans are trying to score points by putting this psycho on the other team. Disgusting. Yeah, it's pretty much my feeling on it. Fuck this guy. Fuck both of them. I don't care what side they were on. I am glad the guy in Texas didn't get shot, because I want him to die by. They don't have the electric chair down there anymore. They do a lethal injection, right?
Yeah, we get rid of old Sparky a little while back.
I think we should bring back the fucking noose.
No, the noose is too easy, man. Noose is way too easy. It's over in a second. If it's done right, it breaks the neck, and you're like a couple of seconds at top. It's like the most. Sorry, guys, we're talking about this, but the most humane way to kill somebody is actually chopping off their head, because it's done.
If it goes correctly.
Yeah, but
We're talking guillotine, not Muslim.
cleanup though.
That's a little messy.
Jamie Lee Curtis tweeted out assault weapon ban, assault weapon ban, assault weapon ban ad nauseum till she ran out of fucking characters to use.
Yeah.
18 hours ago, 40,000 likes on that. So I would really like to know what they consider to be an assault weapon.
Aren't all weapons assault?
No weapons are assault unless you have. Almost lost my phone.
Well, I mean,
Sorry.
if you're using them to assault someone.
Unless you have a military grade M4, you don't have an assault weapon. You have a civilian use weapon, which is, my AR-15 is arguably less deadly than my pistol, and they don't consider pistols assault weapons.
Yeah.
Well, I did see somebody yesterday who said that we need to ban all semi-automatic weapons.
So what are we going to fucking live like the rifleman?
Apparently,
And muskets.
we're going to go back to
Lever action and
lever action and revolvers. Apparently,
Someone said delete this. No, fuck off. I'm not deleting shit.
I'm over on the hashtag, guys. Lots of the Ass Crack team has been over there. Lots of beautiful women's to admire, and Jim Helis has a weird ramen-haired chick up there for some reason.
Yeah, so
Ready in 3 minutes.
cannons and lever action rifles is all we're going to have left.
Yeah, cannon is not automatics or even semi-automatic. So yeah, that would work, right?
It's not even single action. Thing's like an 8-point turn to use.
Can you guys just talk why it's almost always anti-SJW and right-wing committing these mass shootings?
Because they're angry? I don't know.
Committing which shootings? We're Dylan Roof and not Dylan Roof. The two guys from Columbine, the ones who basically kicked off the modern era of mass shootings. Were they political?
Nope.
Nope. They just hated everyone.
Except for they really didn't. I mean, that was a big lie that was pushed. You really should check the narratives afterwards, guys. Not that first 24, 48 hours worth of stuff, and go back and see what's said about these people. But the big narrative at them at the beginning was, oh, they were bullied. And turns out that wasn't really necessarily
No, they weren't
true.
bullied.
Harrison Klebold, thank you, Lindsay. Why is it almost always them? Prove to me it is. Now, if you want to talk about why is it always the ones that make it in the news? Oh, I think we have our answer.
We can definitely have a conversation for that. But I'd be willing to. Is that someone in the chat who asked that?
Yeah,
All right, which retard in the chat asked that? Also,
that was No Lives Matter.
you know for a fact, and I'm saying this to everyone who's listening, you know for a fact that there are mass shootings every other day in places like Detroit, Baltimore, Chicago, Cleveland. These
They're all right
shithole
wingers.
fucking cities, these goddamn gang infested areas daily or every other day there are mass shootings, and it never makes the news because it's gang violence. No reason to talk about it. There's nothing you can gain from pushing the gang violence narrative.
Well, there was, I mean, back in the late 80s, early 90s, there was a push to ban handguns. And guys, if you're actually worried about about how many people get shot, handguns are the way to go. Most people are shot with handguns.
I think it's something like 30 people a year are shot with rifles. Now, that might be more now considering there was the Vegas shooter, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So we'll go and say 60 people a year are shot with rifles. Not killed, but shot.
Yeah,
With
the
non-handgun
overwhelming
fucking guns.
the overwhelming majority of people are killed with handguns. That's just fact. But you know, it looks a lot scarier than a 9mm, an AR-15.
Okay. You know what? With that, I gotta go. It's my grandma's birthday, and I'm going to spend the day with her.
I'm actually going to shut down. I heard Lady Monkey's home and she's millaging about, so we're going to go out here shortly myself. So, Sandra, if you want to go ahead and drop, I will talk to you later.
We can round out the show.
Okay, cool. Chat, thank you guys so much for coming, hanging out. Thank you so much for the donations. I can't tell you how much I appreciate that. Sandra, anything you want to pimp out before we leave?
No new video today because I should have been working on it, but I came on this show instead. So we'll get a video tomorrow, and I've got a couple of days of creepypastas loaded up, so we're good on that front. So new video tomorrow.
And Poppy, happy birthday.
Thank you.
Happy birthday, Poppy.
I'm having a birthday stream tonight where I will be drinking, so that will be interesting.
What time are you doing it?
At 10:30 on Minions of the Zoo.
All right. And tonight, me and Sats will be back in No Man's Sky at 7 p.m. on 2 Cents Plus. So come check that out, guys. I would like to thank Poppy. Happy birthday again. And Sinatra for joining me. Thank you, Scribe, who was here earlier. Everybody, have a wonderful day, and we'll see you next time.
See you guys.